Hate that.
Well, I'm gonna shoot over and talk to the Paradigm guys real quick. But good luck up in the booth, and I'll see y'all next week.
All right, brother. See you later, Randy.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Yeah, Randy's good, people. He's
Might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
Doctor, no cigar. I can't diagnose a simple cold or flu, but if your engine's got a cough, I know what to do. Give it 6 of these and wash it down with this. A new air filter ought to help it catch its breath. Napa know how. Napa know how.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ISCA Super Cup Series as we tackle the Napa Auto Parts 250 at Richmond Raceway, the action track here. Strawberry Hill is another name for this racetrack, and I definitely am excited. We have some really interesting competition going to be joining us here tonight. Of course, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but my name's Brian Britt. I have none other than Big Al or Alfonso Nixon as my co-commentator here tonight. Of course, Kobe Jordan down behind the camera is going to be working all the knobs and levers. Big Al, how you doing? What you thinking about Richmond, man? This is a classic NASCAR track.
Man, I'm doing pretty good, and I'm excited to be back on the East Coast, Brian. That's right, we're back on the East Coast, and we're going to be doing it up, and we're going to be going fast here. You know what I mean? This is Richmond. Excited. Got a big field tonight as well.
Yeah, we definitely do. And, of course, last week we were at Circuit of the Americas, of course, a 16-turn road course that is specifically made for, I do believe, F1. Of course, Abner Acosta was able to grab the W there. Very dominant run from him. Of course, let's see what happens here, though, at Richmond. Qualifying is going on right now. Of course, Brian Johnson is right now at the top of the board. Let's take a look at, though, the race details. What do we have to expect here tonight? Of course, 250 laps here at Richmond Raceway. Stages will be 50 and 115. Of course, the stage one caution will fly at about lap 51, at the start of lap 51, I should say. 7 sets of tires altogether, 6 down in the pits. As we see in the background, somebody wrecking there, trying to get as much speed as they can here in qualifying. Fuel window, 125 laps. I don't think we'll really have to talk too much about fuel, considering that last stage is just above that 125 lap mark, and I do believe we'll probably see a caution before that happens. I know tire wear is significant here at Richmond. Let's take a quick look at the points coming into tonight's race after Abner won last week. Of course, Brian Johnson right now is at the top of the board, was able to get a, I do believe he took a provisional last week, if I'm not mistaken, but still was able to move to the top of the board. He has 1 win this season so far, 5 top 5s. He's got 6 playoff points. Of course, Derek Heitman, he's been the playoff point master here, has 11 playoff points. He's in second place. Randy Mullins, this is going to be an interesting point. We're going to talk about this a little bit later, but Randy Mullins is in third. Matt DeCiani 4th. Miller Bonds is in 5th. Patrick Gitter sits 6th. Brandon Pasalacqua, he's in 7th. Mark Sanchez 8th. Alexander Carr's in 9th. And Kenny Powell is, of course, in 10th. Now, one thing I was saying, what's interesting about Randy Mullins, Big Al, Randy Mullins is not here tonight. He has a substitute driver. And that substitute is a driver we hear about all the time. Mr. Michael Conti is actually going to be showing up here in the ISCA here tonight.
Oh,
shit. We heard that, Big Al.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Sorry about that, bud.
That's all right. I mean, I think that's an appropriate reaction because he is, of course, a previous Coke Series championship holder, as well as the owner and operator of Team Conti.gg, which is, of course, a very prominent setup shop on the iRacing service. So, and we always hear these guys. I mean, Patrick Gitter, Derek Heitman, Matt DeCiani shouting out Team Conti. Well, that's where the Conti comes from, Michael Conti. And so I think we have a kind of a star-studded cast here tonight. And this is going to be, I think, in a lot of ways. Yeah, he is. He is very much. And I think I talked to Randy before the session began, and he was telling us that the only reason that Michael agreed to do this race for Randy was because it was Richmond. Any other track, he would have said no. And that says something about Richmond. So I think that he is truly a ringer.
Yeah, that's the true definition of a ringer.
100%. Of course, 40 seconds left on the clock here in qualifying. We're going to go ahead and take a step away, pay our attention to our national anthem, maybe play a couple ads, and we'll be right back with your starting grid.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight lights last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The nighttime is the right time. Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines!
Cardiology, I don't have the heart. Pulmonary doctor, no cigar. I can't diagnose a simple cold or flu, but if your engine's got a cough, I know what to do. Give it 6 of these and wash it down with this. A new air filter ought to help it catch its breath. Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ISCA Super Cup Series here. As, of course, we have a thrilling race set up for us here at Richmond Raceway. We have the grid set. We're going to go ahead and go down through the running order. And, of course, starting up on the pole, I do believe this is his second pole of his career in the ISCA. This is Jeremy Sumter, able to hit a, I do believe, 21.407. Blazing fast lap right there. Of course, Matt DeCiani is going to be starting on the outside pole, 21.452. Very quick lap as well. Of course, third place is going to belong to Patrick Gitter. So that's a Team Conti 2-3 right there. Miller Bonds, he's going to be starting in fourth. He's been really good at qualifying this season. Brandon Pastelacqua, he's starting fifth. Frank Flores, really great qualifying effort for him. He's going to be starting in sixth. Greg Wachinski starting seventh. Brian Johnson in eighth. Mark Sanchez in ninth. Josh Schaffner rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, and that's going to put Jay Hone in 11th with Randy Belk in 12th. Jose Medina starts in 13th with Darren Mullins on his outside. Derek Heitman finds himself starting in 15th with Blair Holloman in 16th. Kenny Powell in 17th and Randy Drumhiller in 18th. 19th place shows Kenneth Bartholomew, and Jeffrey Ford rounds out the top 20. Sorry about that.
Of course, 21st, Kyle Holden. Abner Acosta, last week's winner, is going to be starting in 22nd. Michael Conti, driving the 54 machine here tonight, is going to be starting 23rd. Paul Olson in 24th. Jai Schultz, I do believe, second race in the ISCA, starts 25th. Greg Carr in 26th. And rounding out this 27-car field is J.C. Evans. Let's look top to bottom through this 27 cars, as I do believe everybody starts slowly but surely getting to the grid here, and we should see these guys rolling momentarily. Of course, I think tire wear is going to be a big deal here at this racetrack. We'll see how this kind of plays out. I know this is called the action track. It's a lot like Iowa, or should I say Iowa is a lot like it, considering Iowa actually was, or this track was the inspiration for Iowa Speedway. If anybody didn't know that, I do believe Rusty Wallace loved Richmond so much that he wanted to make a somewhat of a better, higher banked versions, and that's where Iowa came into play. Of course, this is a 0.72 mile racetrack in Richmond, Virginia. Looking at the track temp right now, looks like it's about 68 degrees, so pretty cool. One thing that's not, kind of normal here is the wind. Look at that, 20-mile-an-hour winds, Big Al.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a little bit on the high side, Brian. But I'm going to tell you, Richmond, this is what drivers are going to have to be cognizant of. With a field this long, when they accelerate coming out of turn 4, you really got to wait till that car is kind of straight. Otherwise, you might have a little bit of an issue.
You are exactly right. You definitely, you know exactly what you're talking about, how Richmond. So you must have spun out here before.
Oh, yeah,
it's
man.
easy to do.
I'm dancing that grass even when it wasn't my turn. You know what I mean?
100%. And I think that's one thing we're going to really have to keep an eye on is going to be throttle control. Also shifting, I think, is going to be something we'll see here. I don't think it's going to be mandatory, but I know in the officials there has been, shifting from 4th to 5th. So that could be something we see. And whenever you involve shifting at a short track like this, that could also possibly endanger some engines. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Is everybody, I think, still trying to get to the grid? I think we still have a little bit of some time here until everybody gets rolling. But definitely really impressed with Sumter, who got a pole earlier in the season, was able to win a race. Yeah. Let's see if he can do it again. What I find interesting, yeah, that's for sure. Track position is a big deal at this track. And what I find interesting, though, is Conti is starting all the way back in 23rd. We think that he's going to be the ringer. It's going to be hard to get through this field, though, Big Al, I think, even for him.
Well, I think he did the best thing by starting in the rear, man, just so he can kind of play with his food a little bit. But that gives these guys who are truly out here racing for the points, they'll be able to get in there and mix it up a little bit. I do think this is going to be an event-filled race, though. I think old Ralph, the flag man, is going to be in the booth all night.
I don't think he's going to get to go see Mary Sue. I definitely don't think.
Not tonight.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know Richmond has their famous apple fritters. He's not going to get any of those tonight. But
man, the one to green lights off on the pace car. Man, that means we're getting ready to get busy here. So next time we come around, once those drivers hit that Geico restart zone, Brian, it's going to be all ablaze. And I think this is going to be one for the books, man. We got a star-studded cast, to say the least.
And we're going on a lot of short track runs here lately. I know Martinsville's next week. So I do think we actually do have one more lap. We do have one more lap around the track, so the pace car lights were off, but that was a little bit one thing about short tracks is you usually see that 2 laps, pace laps before we get going here, but I even thought we were getting ready to go green there. But yeah, Martinsville next week, the paperclip. So if we see any rivalries that are, kind of started here at Richmond, I think we're going to get to see them finished next week at Martinsville, because that's a track that we see it being very physical. Drivers are they bump each other out of the way. That's just kind of what you see at tracks like Martinsville, and so definitely interesting to see how these short tracks work out.
Man, a lot of drivers down on the field tonight, Brian. This is definitely I'm excited. We're getting ready to go racing here, guys.
Yeah, we're at the action track. This is where the action's at. As there's the pace car down pit road, green flag is out for the first time. Jeremy Sumter up through the gears. Really great start, I got to say, from Patrick Gitter. Really able to get up through the gears and on the throttle about at the same time that Sumter did. As side by side for second place, DeCiani almost clobbers the wall out of turn number 2. That's going to be something we're going to see a lot tonight, is that wall comes up very fast.
Yeah, also we're going to be looking to see how many of these guys are going to actually keep it double foul here tonight, or whether they're going to let the field kind of thin itself out and go single foul, Brian.
Yeah, this is definitely a track that you want to be single file, because if you're racing side by side, you'll be going slower, especially at tracks like this. This is a track you want to have the momentum and the ability to kind of track up to the wall on the exit of these corners. As we see a race side by side for
Kenny
fourth.
Powell right there just got in contact with the 33 car. Those guys were checked up just a little bit because of the 48 of Medina.
Yeah, Kenny Powell back in 14th, so he's trying to, I think, hold his mouth right, as you would say. Looks like he's still rolling, though. As, of course, we see Derek Heitman racing with Jose Medina. We were just kind of talking about him. Also, we see Darren Mullins as well trying to race, I do believe, with Kyle Holden. So we're seeing some races all over this racetrack right now. Oh, look at Mark
Sanchez is loose.
Whoa.
He is sideways on the backstretch. That is causing big whoops for everybody. Wrecking still continuing.
And Sanchez making a big mistake there. He also did not hold his brake, which is a no-no, especially at tracks like this. He went from the top of the track to the bottom of the track. I mean, he was just all over the place. We see another issue. This is Blair Holloman.
That's the 10,
this did not cause a caution. This did not
That's
cause
the grass
a caution.
I played in.
That's the grass there. So this is what happened here. We see Sanchez. We're going to be watching Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez is the cause of this caution. And I think he might have maybe prematurely, no, he didn't end the day, but he definitely hurt Kyle Holden. He also almost took out his teammate, Kenny Powell. Let's see
Mark
what
Sanchez
happens
himself, he's the recipient of that dreaded repairs required flag, that old meatball flag, Brian.
So I think we went a little bit too far back, but I think we'll find out what happened here to the 29. But clearly, he had a handling condition on the exit of the corner. And I think might have been right. Okay, so he touches the apron. That's that apron ain't got no grip in it. And right there, right in front.
He's on the brakes.
He's still rolling right there, but yeah, he is getting beaten and hitting around. So I don't know. He's definitely. I just thought he was rolling a little bit more than he probably should have, which kind of worried me.
He was free
but I
balling
think that
a
might
little
have been
bit.
just momentum from other drivers hitting him. But you see right there, he just gets loose off of turn 2 and rides up right in front of Kyle Holden. And unfortunately, who else hit him? There was somebody on the bottom there that just came in and smashed into him.
So the 58 and the 29 both down pit road right now, but hey, the 33 also coming down.
Oh, look at this! This is a hard lick for Kyle Holden. There was nothing he could do here. Somebody was on the bottom. You see Michael Conti able to skirt his way through just fine. Who is this? Okay, you see the 64. Great job for Darren. Darren actually misses this. And then somebody comes. Who is that? Comes in and smacks him. That's Jai. That's Jai Schultz. Comes in and hits the 29. So that's going to be front-end repairs probably needed for both the 58, I do believe that is, and also the 59, which is Kyle Holden. So great job to our producer, able to analyze, kind of help us analyze this crash. Wow. That's a bad wreck to happen in the first 10 laps, Big Al.
Yeah, lap 6, man. That just goes to show that's the reason why we're keeping old Ralph close tonight. Because this thing, like I told you, this is going to be an action-filled race. Like you said, it's the action track. But guys just going to have to navigate around this thing. And traffic's going to be an issue. And plus, you got individual drivers with their personal spins. I think that's going to be the biggest thing that we're going to see here also, Brian.
And that's exactly what we saw there with Sanchez. I mean, he just kind of touched a little bit of the apron and got loose. That's very easy to do. I don't think we're going to see that again. We'll see that again.
Yeah, and Blair Holloman, by the way.
Yeah, he spun down onto the grass. So I think that we will see mistakes like that. And also, some of the drivers I've talked to before this race, not maybe particularly in this race here, have mentioned that if you are turning the wheel too much on the entry of the corner, you'll very easily get, lock up the tires. So this is a track that it takes a lot of, it's a technical track, Richmond is. Because, it has a lot of, kind of a speedway vibe to it, especially that front stretch. You can kind of get up, to some high speeds, but there's also that heavy braking areas, on the entry to the corners.
Yeah, lights off on the pace car, getting ready to come around to that Geico restart zone. Gonna see if we can make it more than 6 this time.
100%. Here we go. Green flag back out. Jeremy Sumter waits till the last minute there to try to catch Patrick Gitter off guard, and I think it worked as Jeremy Sumter leads into turn 1.
That was a very effective restart on Sumter's part, man. He did exactly what he needed to do, maintain his edge on the outside, and now he's actually got a little breathing room, if you can believe that.
Yeah, I don't know for how long, though. Patrick Gitter starting to roll his way up to the back end of the 52. Clean air, though, is going to be really, really important here in this race. And I think Sumter is going to want to try to hold on to that. As we see pretty much the top 5 all single filed out right now. Derek Heitman and Jay Hone, I do believe, battling right now for 9th. Challenge for the lead. Jeremy Sumter goes up the racetrack now side by side as Patrick Gitter has the bottom. Can he make hay while the sun shines here at Richmond?
Now, while these two are going to be side by side, that's really going to allow those guys behind them to kind of size it up and maybe even move up into better position for themselves. It's like you said, when you're running side by side, you're going to be slower.
That's 100% fact.
Yeah, you probably didn't have a choice, Brian.
I think you might be right, but I mean, I think that there's definitely, if I was in Sumter's shoes, I would have been trying to protect that bottom as best I could, but I think Gitter might have not have left him a choice. As you can see, Patrick Gitter has moved up, possibly to try to take this lead away, but Sumter holding strong on that higher side. I just don't know what this does to the tires. I think that's the key. What is running this higher defensive line due to the tires?
Yeah, but, you know, this first stage at 50 laps, though, I think you have to take it. You have to take chances. You got to wear those tires out so you can see how they're going to affect it in the long run. The 19 of Jay Hone, though, he is definitely struggling a little bit. Just been watching these guys run around here in the back, just kind of seeing how it's going.
Yeah, we also see Greg Wachinski. He's in the midst of a battle, I do believe, with Derek Heitman. That is for the 8th place position as they are still racing side by side for the lead. Also, Michael Conti, he's worked his way from 23rd all the way up to 12th as he is, I do believe, trying to fight. He's going to be fighting Kenny Powell probably very soon.
Yeah, good on Greg, man, with the number 5 representing the Baltimore Orioles. As our hearts and prayers, thoughts and prayers are definitely with the folks there in Baltimore, especially the longshoremen and the families of those guys that didn't make it out of the drink.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. Very, devastating, bridge collapse there that involved a cargo ship. Definitely very scary ordeal that I wouldn't wish on anybody. They still race for this lead. I mean, they have not given up battling for this lead. Sumter still trying to hold strong on the top side, but I think something's got to give here very soon.
Yeah, because
here comes Gitter. Gitter able to almost get clear, not quite. And he's being, oh, look at that Gitter loose off the corner, off of turn 2. Patrick Gitter sideways. That might give Sumter what he needs here.
He's just trying to do everything he can to maintain that dominant position, Brian, but it's getting a lot racy all over the track.
It definitely is. And, of course, we want to watch this race for the lead. Gitter still getting loose. He is having some woes on that bottom. He falls in behind Sumter. Sumter back to the point, able to fight back on the high side. Oh, Gitter getting close to the rear end. It's almost about to get physical here for the lead.
And don't tell anybody, but Michael Conti just entered into the top 10, ladies and gentlemen.
And look at the lap time he's hitting versus everybody else. I mean, he's hitting a 21.695.
Yeah, cue the Jaws theme music.
He's faster than every single body, every person in this race right now. I mean, 21.695 last time by. That is insanely fast as he's working his way through the field. He's getting by Greg Wachinski as Sumter still trying to defend this lead.
I tell you what, man, he is awfully excited that I'm not down there tonight because I would definitely slow him down.
I'm sure you would, Big Al.
Absolutely.
And he's definitely done a fantastic job getting through this field. I'd be curious to see what a driver like Heitman or Gitter or DeCiani does versus Michael Conti. Of course, he's one of the best in the business.
Well, he's coming up on Heitman, so you'll get a little sneak preview of that here pretty sure momentarily. And I guarantee you, before this stage is over, at the pace that he's running, he's probably going to be the leader of this thing, Brian.
Another driver is starting to come through this field, Abner Acosta, last week's winner at Circuit of the Americas. He's just entered the top 10. He's about 7/10 behind Michael Conti, running about the same lap times. So do not be surprised if we see the 55 come into play here, just considering Abner, he is a master when it comes to using the brakes.
Yeah, a lot of thoroughbreds in this event tonight, folks. We did not bring the jackasses for this event.
Yeah, we did not. As we go side by side once again for the lead, they are racing hard for this lead. As Patrick Gitter goes to the inside, can he get the pass completed this time? And another loose condition off of 2. It just seems like Gitter has got speed, but he's not able to get the pass completed.
He's having trouble transferring that, especially coming out of the turn there, not getting that car to rotate the way he wants.
And look at this. This has brought Miller Bonds up into the battle with Matt DeCiani.
So what do you attribute that to, Brian?
I don't know. I think this track, I got to be honest, if you don't have the whole track to kind of track up to the wall, you're going to have handling conditions. And I think that's what we're seeing from Gitter. He's trying to get back to the gas as quick as he can to try to get that momentum on Jeremy Sumpter, but he's not able to really get the rubber to meet the road as well as he needs it to. And that's what causes that loose condition. As you can see, Jeremy Sumpter, of course, still in the lead. Now side by side, though, for third place. Miller Bonds. Oh, they're contacting one another. This could be bad as they are racing hard for third. Miller Bonds and Matt DeCiani getting physical. And this is bringing possibly Brandon Pasalacqua up into the fray as well. As you can see as well, Brian Johnson in 6th place kind of starting to catch up. I don't think this is over. 12 and the 1.
Because here's what's happening is, like, right behind these guys, you got Derek Heitman, who's got Matthew Conti right behind him. Big whoops right there to throw the sideways. Those two cars, caution not out, as they were definitely below the yellow line. Not going to work for them. Going to play favor to a lot of other events that are going to be transpiring.
And I think these guys are going to remember that. You got to keep in mind, the 12 and the 1, that didn't bring a caution out, did not pay a whole lot of damage. I think those guys are going to meet once again at some point. As Derek Heitman, he's caught up to Brian Johnson. He's banging on the back door for 4th place right now, as well as Michael Conti has gotten up to 6th.
Mark Sanchez, remember that name, because he is back out onto the race surface, Brian, and he is going to be the guy that these guys are going to be running into, and that's going to be sooner than later.
I'll tell you, this race right now for 4th is heating up. As you can see, Derek Heitman trying to get the power down on exit. Brian Johnson proving to be a little bit harder to pass than I think he suspected he would be.
But he's got his hands full as well.
Pressure. He's got the added pressure behind him with Michael Conti.
He's got his hands full and his rearview mirror full at this time.
Also, because the race heating up for the lead is here comes Patrick Gitter. Patrick Gitter trying to take the high side this time as he tries to get a run here. And these guys have gotten quite a gap back to 3rd. 1.5 seconds is the gap from 2nd to 3rd as they race hard for the lead, coming up to, I do believe, 16 laps to go, or should I say 17 to go, in stage 1. And if this race continues like this track is really living up to its name, the action track.
Oh, the 21 gets into the back of the leader, Jeremy Sumpter.
And a little bit of contact with the wall there for the 52 of Sumpter, as they are racing incredibly hard for this lead. I think Gitter might be getting a little bit frustrated that he can't get by this 52.
Yeah, definitely getting a little bit frustrated. You can tell, Brian, but that 52 just keeps getting wider and wider as they go around.
Yeah, and I think Sumpter's going to be wanting to make some adjustments on that race car. As here comes Gitter to the inside. Sumpter tries to block sideways. Gitter sideways.
He did keep it straight, though.
That gives a little bit of a sigh of relief for Jeremy Sumpter, but I guarantee you, Gitter, he's getting frustrated. He's got to be. This race is getting crazy here.
What it gave was it gave Gitter a bad taste in his mouth. So, believe you me, he is going to get back up there. The 21 is going to be in contention again. And I don't think next time it's going to be as, he's going to be as nice. Might have to use that bumper a little bit.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. We do have a pretty sizable group of race cars, though, here battling for 4th place. Brian Johnson's got Michael Conti all over him. Conti moves up high. He's going to try to get the run off the corner. And here he goes, shoots to the inside. This is masterclass here at Richmond. Look at Conti. I mean, that was perfectly executed. He moved up. He used one of the corners, the high side, to build the momentum, and then shot right underneath Brian Johnson on the entry. What a master move right there.
Well, I mean, the guy's got a freaking 8,000 I rating for a reason. They don't just give those away. You know, he's out there. He understands the ins and outs and everything that's going on. It kind of makes me feel sad because we're not. Caution's out. The 76 of Derek Heitman sideways, not good right there. That's going to end what was stacking up to be a pretty good run for the 76.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Of course, Derek Heitman really awesome when it comes to the points so far this season. So I'm not sure. It might have been him getting involved. Yeah, Abner Acosta slides up on the entry of the corner.
Man, we got a lot of blood spilling on this track out here tonight.
We
Brian.
really do. I mean, we really, really do. So this definitely came as a result of Abner Acosta, I think, sending it in the corner. So let's take another look at this. You can see Abner trying to get underneath the 76, and I think he just overshot his braking zone a little bit here. And you can see Derek's all the way at the top. Derek didn't do anything wrong here. Abner, I think, just sent it in. Look at this. See, he misses the corner to turn in and comes up into the 76. So clearly Abner made a mistake here.
Misses breaking point. But, you know, I think it's one of those no harm, no foul kind of things. As Heitman doesn't really suffer any major damage from that. Plus, Abner kind of got himself sideways as well. So a lot of racing left to go. It is going to lead to an 8-lap shootout here for the stage 1 goodie. So going to see how that plays out, Brian, because the top 10 is all shook up.
Yeah, I don't know what the decision is going to be here. I think a lot of drivers probably just going to stay out. I mean, it's just because tires, I think, are gold here, and you want to try to save them if you can. And of course,
if you're in the top 10, you stay out. Period. Not even a question.
And if you're further back, though, I think it is a question. You know, hey, you know, we saw what was it that one race where Randy Mullins had taken a set of tires, or was it it was Miller Bonds, or was it Randy? I can't remember. I remember one race. Okay, he had taken a set of tires and drove his way all the way up to the front. That could be something we see done at this track. I think tires are significant enough, but we'll see.
I think it was Miller Bonds. I'm confused.
I think it was either the 12 or the 54. I can't recall.
Whatever I said, it's the opposite.
But I just know, see, there's a call there. I do believe that's Derek Heitman coming to pit road, but I do believe he's actually gone a lap down as a result of that accident.
Well, yeah, plus he's got he's going to want tires. I mean, Brian, he just flat spotted the heck out of those good years.
Definitely good point. Now, I'm curious to see how this last little shootout goes. I mean, Sumter and Gitter were getting awfully familiar. And I just think that we're going to see round 2 here in just a second. I mean, what does Gitter, does he feel some kind of way towards Sumter? I think we're going to find out. Also interesting to note, Michael Conti pitted there. So we did have him he was up in the top 10, I do believe. Top 5. He elected to pit. Very interesting decision there from him. So quite a shakeup here as the pace car lights are out. Jeremy Sumter's up in first. Patrick Gitter's in second. Brandon Pasalac was in third. Brian Johnson sits fourth. Frank Flores is in fifth. Frank has had a really great day today.
And Frank is definitely, he's making that 8 car very wide, Brian. He is a force to be reckoned with. He is not yielding. He's not bending. He's just kind of keeping it right there with his elbows out. So good to go, man. Way to go, Frank.
Yeah, really proud of Frank and everything that he's done, been able to accomplish. And I think a lot of that comes down to Michael Conti's help. I mean, we've heard him shout out Michael Conti a ton, and there's no wonder why. As the paint car dips down pit road, green flag is back out as we have, I do believe, a 6-lap shootout as Sumter up through the gears. As Patrick Gitter, what can he do against the 52? Look at the run the 21's got. Can he make something
He lost it.
happen? He lost it, though. He in the center, he looked really good.
He's not able to get that car to rotate, not as well as Sumter. But now here he is. I think he's getting his legs back underneath him. He's now laser focused, Brian. So start looking for him to start putting the moves on, as we are now just 4 laps away from this thing being in the books.
Also, we do have a race going on, I do believe, for 4th place, I should say. Miller Bonds and Brian Johnson going after it. Looks like Bonds has got that pass completed. And, of course, I do believe coming down to 4 laps to go in stage number 1. Sumter so far has led, I do believe, almost every lap. Kenny Powell up into 7th right now as he drives his way by Kyle Holden. And now tries to get it by the 8 of Frank Flores.
Another good points day for Powell. He needs it, man. All of these drivers, the top 10, man, you got to make those points, brother. We say this every week. 2 to go now for the first, before this one is in the books, but you got to make these points when you can.
Yeah, I mean, we got to also keep in mind that Kenny Powell in the first couple races had a terrible results. And he needs to really right the ship, and I think that's exactly what's happening here. But Jeremy Sumter coming out of turn 2, he's going to, of course, take the white flag when he exits turn number 4. And it looks like I think he's got it. I mean, it looks like Patrick Gitter, I think he's having some handling woes. We got to keep in mind that Gitter did get sideways under that last green flag run, and that could have affected his tires. He's also under a lot of pressure from Brandon Pasalacqua. Pasalacqua is coming alive right now as the white flag is out for stage 1.
Yeah, Brandon Pasalacqua doing exactly everything that he needs to do, making himself a force to be reckoned with. And look at that top 4, Brian. They have literally created a breakaway. So that's going to be something we can watch.
Caution flag out. That concludes stage number 1. Jeremy Sumter, your stage 1 winner. Patrick Gitter comes home in 2nd. Brandon Pasalacqua in 3rd. Miller Bonds 4th. Brian Johnson 5th. Kenny Powell rockets his way up to 6th place. Frank Flores 7th. Kyle Holden in 8th. Josh Schaffner 9th. And Jose Medina rounds out the top 10. With that, we're going to take a brief step away. We'll come back and we'll talk to our stage 1 winner.
You went, you served, and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service, interests, and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ISCA Super Cup Series here. Of course, we just completed stage number 1, and we're going to go ahead and have our stage 1 winner jump up in here and talk with us. Jeremy Sumter, what a race for you in stage 1, man. It seemed like you had a lot of competition there with Patrick Gitter. Walk us through how the racing was.
Fun. That's all I can say. That was hard fought.
Yeah, definitely.
Luckily, I had good coaching this week with Kenny, Mr. Coppola, telling me how to depend on that, or he would have got by me.
And it seemed like you definitely had to defend. I mean, that top side, so that's something you had worked out to try to battle and defend. I mean, does that wear the tires out more?
Definitely wears the tires out more, but it is how you defend in that corner. It keeps them from getting the runoff, so you can keep your speed and slow them down.
Well, it definitely seemed like it worked out for you. Congratulations on the Stage 1 win. What is the plan from here on out? Have you made adjustments? What's the plan?
Car feels great, so no adjustments so far. Just keep it how it is.
All right. Well, we definitely wish you the best of luck, Jeremy. Who can we shout out after your Stage 1 win?
Just, King Watson Racing, Kenny Coppola, Inside Lane, and you guys.
All right. Well, thanks, Jeremy. Great job, and hopefully you can continue the momentum here. We'll talk to you later, hopefully.
All right, man. Thanks.
All righty. That was Jeremy Sumter, driver of the 52 machine. Definitely a great performance so far, and he barely, Big Al, won the race off pit road. I thought Patrick Gator had
It don't
got
matter.
him.
It don't matter. Look who's leading this thing.
Looks like Michael Conti. That's why he had pitted.
So the race off of pit road really is a moot point right now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. I think because Conti, under that last caution before the that 6-lap shootout, had pitted. DeCiani did as well, Greg Wachinski and Jai Schultz. So the top 4 right now are on about, I think, on a little bit of older tires, but not that much older.
About 6 laps.
About 6 laps, and I'll tell you, we'll see how this plays out. I mean, Michael Conti is going to be tough to beat here. He's up into lead now, leading his first laps in the ISCA.
I misspoke, man. By the time it's said and done, looks like they're going to be plus 12 laps on their tires for Conti and DeCiani, and then plus 10 laps for Schultz and Stumpler. No.
We'll see how this works out. Green flag is back out in the air. Michael Conti with a super great restart. He pulls away from Matt DeCiani, and he, of course, leads into turn 1 and 2. Greg Wachinski trying to hold off Jeremy Sumter as Sumter goes on the attack, as well as we see Miller Bonds and Pasalacqua in the heat of battle, as we, I do believe, see 3 wide back here.
Yeah, I can tell you, though, there's a 2-word phrase that's going to wrap up this segment. He gone.
Yeah, he's definitely gone, as he's got about a 4/10 of a second lead as Gitter tries to go to battle with Wachinski. Wachinski trying to hang on as best he can. Of course, Sumter has gotten clear of Wachinski. He's going to try to see if he can possibly get up there to Matt DeCiani. We'll see if that's going to be the case, as well as Pasalacqua was trying to work his way through. There's also Brian Johnson. Oh, caution flag is out, as it looks like we have a wreck on the track.
The 10 of Blair Holloman looks like he's going to be involved in that one.
Yeah, I do believe I see him slow. So I think we see Blair
along with the 76 of Derek Heitman.
Oh, man, Heitman. I think Heitman might have been the start of this crash, actually. The 76 of Derek Heitman. You see Blair, I think, might have gotten into Heitman after the fact, as we see the... Oh, wow, what was that? That almost looked like a blown tire. That's like a... You don't see crashes like that often. We're going to have to go back a little bit further.
Not from Derek Heitman's. Al Nixon does this shit all the time. Sorry. This stuff all the time.
But look at this. Let's take a look at this. Oh, it's a shifting issue. This was something to do with shifting.
And when you said they were going to be shifting, Brian, I was like, that's a rough one, man. If we could go back inside with him, you'll actually watch the gear selector there and see if you can see exactly when that point happened.
Oh, it happened. He went from 5th to 3rd.
5th gear? Yep, he sure did.
3rd. And
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit too shifty.
And that just unfortunately caused that car to just stop handling. That's unfortunate.
And
that's not a mistake he made.
Isn't that the second time Heitman's gone around tonight?
It is. But of course, the first time he went around was as a result of a mistake by Abner Acosta. But this was definitely a mistake on the part of Derek Heitman here. And look at Blair Holloman. He tried his best to miss it, but just unfortunately could not.
Yeah, Holloman's also having a pretty exciting night as well, as we saw him dance through the infield a little bit earlier on.
I think exciting probably in the wrong way, right? A negative connotation there. As definitely Ralph has not been able to get away from the flag stand in order to give his girl Mary Lou a kiss, that's for sure.
Yeah, Abner Acosta back down pit road again. That's the second time, so he must be getting some type of damage repaired.
What I do
Really
find
cutting it
interesting,
close.
though, Michael Conti, after that caution came out, he actually pitted. So he is on a little bit of a different pit strategy here than everybody else. I don't know what the thought process is, but Conti was up in the lead. He's given the lead up, and DeCiani now holds the lead. Of course, Matt DeCiani, I think, is on a little bit older tires right now, so Jeremy Sumpter, I think this restart is going to be really important. If DeCiani launches in the right way, this could benefit Patrick Gitter, I think, more than anybody because they're teammates. I think they're going to communicate, and if Gitter knows when DeCiani is going to go, that could leave Sumpter up a little bit of a creek.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something different. They got to figure out how to keep Sumpter sequestered. They got to keep him back at least off the top two, you know what I mean? And they're going to have to use teamwork in order to make that happen. Because he told you exactly what he's doing, so it's going to take those two to actually change his strategy up just a little bit.
Pace car lights are out. Time to get us back going once again. Of course, top five at the moment: Matt DeCiani, Patrick Gitter, Jeremy Sumpter, Brandon Pasalacqua, and John Schultz. Schultz having a good day. Pasalacqua, very good day. He's been very consistent here this season. Awesome points days. He's going to definitely be wanting to try to get himself a good finish here. But Matt DeCiani, what can he do on these older tires?
Man, there's a lot of heat in the back of this field.
Oh, I bet. Green flag is back out in the air, and just like we said, look at that. I mean, that was teammate cooperation if I've ever seen it. Coordination, I should say. DeCiani up through the gears, and he, I think, gave a word to Gitter when he was going to go, and that left Sumpter holding the bag. Sumpter had no chance to respond to that as he falls back to third.
Fort Sumter has fallen.
Oh, 3 wide. Josh Schultz almost getting ready to get turned by Miller Bonds here. This is not 3 wide. Don't work very well here at Richmond as we are still 3 wide, filing onto turn 2, out of turn 2, almost 4 wide there. As Kenny Powell sends it in.
Almost looked like the Blue Angels there.
Woo. This looks like this could go any number of different ways as Schultz falls back to 9th. This is definitely some exciting racing here at Richmond Raceway. Loving every bit of it. As looks like Miller Bonds moves up into the 5th place position. Brian Johnson, he's in 6th. Kyle Holden moves up to 7th. Powell looking sporty here tonight too. Jose Medina trying to work on Josh Schultz right now. As well as you see Josh Schaffner. The Iceman, always good on the long runs, Josh Schaffner. As you see Jose Medina trying to get by the 58, and I think he's got it. Jose looking strong here today in the 48. I know a lot of times that 48 looks a little worrisome, I should say, but he looks strong here tonight.
A lot of pressure on those numbers, too, once you're running that run.
Yeah. Jimmy Johnson, that's right.
Jay Home making his way around the high side there. He's got Frank Flores lined up, but right behind him, man, that's where you got the meat and the sandwich. That's where Derek Heitman is. That's where Matt Conti is. Greg Wachinski back there, he's running pretty strong. Also,
is Matt Conti, is that Michael's brother or what?
Sorry, Michael Conti.
That's the 73 of Kenneth Bartholomew, though, racing hard with the 54. I'm sorry, I had to say that, Big Al. And it looks like Conti does get by, and he's going to try to work on the next guy. He's now entered the top 15. He goes side-by-side with Jay Hone, but they are side-by-side right in front of him, John Schultz and Frank Flores duking it out for, I do believe, 12th.
Man,
this is where a lot of the action's at. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is that part of the race where we're sitting here, but I'm telling you, Ralph's ready because, I mean, we're right in the thick of right in the thick of things right now.
And just a heads up to everybody, of course, stage 2 will conclude on lap 115. So we still have quite a distance left to go here in stage number 2. So this is going to come down to a longer run. As there goes Michael Conti, able to get by Frank Flores. Derek Heitman probably trying to recover after that mistake he made. But you never can count out the 76. Even though he made a mistake, for his first time at this track, he's going to figure it out. Yellow flag is out. Josh Schaffner.
Big
hits.
We just tore up a lot of cars.
We just tore up a lot of cars. As Josh Schaffner just lost his front bumper, and also, I do believe, a couple other cars just mangled in this incident. This is going to be one that we're going to be unpacking for a few minutes.
Greg Wachinski, Greg Carr, and Darren Mullins, all recipients of the dreaded meatball flag after that one.
Yeah, of course, we're watching from Greg Wachinski. I think this, so this, we're going to be wanting to look at look at that. Big, Randy Belk just comes in like a wrecking ball. Greg Carr. Let's look at the 50. We got to look at the 50 because I think Greg was reacting to this issue. So I think this might have just been a self-spin from Josh Schaffner. This is not like Josh Schaffner. He was trying to catch it and unfortunately just overcorrected. Hits the outside wall. Michael Conti just barely able to slide right by Frank Flores and Kenneth Bartholomew. Heitman gets by. Wachinski, though, trying to react to this, goes into the inside wall, smashes the inside wall. Greg Carr hits Wachinski. Randy Belk misses Schaffner and then smashes into Wachinski. So this is just, man, that was a mess and a half right there. Yeah, we're going to take a look through Greg Carr's eyes. What a great job from our producer, Kobe Jordan, bringing us all the action. Ooh. Wow. With the way these wrecks are, I feel like I'm in these wrecks. Ooh.
Man. Yeah, didn't I just say that we're keeping Ralph close for a reason?
Yeah. I think we need to get get Ricky to get out there and collect all these bumpers.
Man.
There's a lot of bumpers out on the racetrack tonight.
Both Gregs still down behind the pit wall. Greg Carr and Greg Wachinski, those two still getting their damage repaired.
This is going to be a race of survival. I'm seeing that to be the case here tonight so far. I think the thing you're going to want to be is up front. Because that way you can miss the accidents like that one. That was a big one right there. And unfortunately, you just have to guess where to go in a lot of ways. Days of Thunder, you don't really know what is going to happen.
The good thing is, though, Brian?
What's that?
I forgot. I literally forgot.
Yeah. The age is catching up with you, Big Al.
Oh, I know what it is. They're not having to deal with lap traffic right now. Because that was something I thought was going to literally plague this event. With the hitters that you got in there, you got some guys that are naturally going to struggle at Richmond. But, man, we have not yet wrapped the tail around the donkey.
And I think we'll have that eventually, though. The snake will eat its tail later in this race. I think stage 3, we're going to see that happen. Let's take a look at the temperature of the racetrack right now. What's that looking like? And it looks like I think it's actually heated up, surprisingly.
69.
Because I think we came in and it was a 68-degree track temp. And pace car lights are out. Awesome camera angle off the back of the one of Matt DeCiani. As here we go, getting ready to get back racing once again. And man, this has been a good one. I tell you, I've enjoyed this one here tonight. As Matt DeCiani enters turn 3. Pace car getting ready to dip down pit road. Barney behind the wheel. And Barney comes down pit road, and here comes DeCiani through the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out again. Great start from DeCiani, but Sumter almost guessed when Gitter was going to go, and he almost got underneath him there. That was a big opportunity for the 52.
And that's something they're not going to do. They're not going to let him get back inside because that's that dominant position. Like he said, he can get down there and kind of control his speed and make the other guys go slower. So, I mean, these guys are starting to figure it out, Brian, as we've got quite a few laps in this thing, 79 laps out of the 250 that we owe. About halfway through this, well, more than halfway through the second stage.
Yeah, still a long way to go in this race, though, for sure. This is a marathon-style event at, of course, Richmond Raceway. Matt DeCiani in control. Team Conti in control. As Patrick Gitter, of course, sits in that second-place position. Frank Flores under fire, I do believe, from Kenneth Bartholomew. That's for 11th place. Of course, you see Abner Acosta as well right there. So we got battles that are coming to fruition all over this racetrack. Derek Heitman has entered back up into the top 10. He's in 9th right now, following behind team boss Michael Conti. Tell you, Jose Medina, I gotta say I'm really impressed with the 48 here. Kenny Powell, though, under fire from Conti.
Well, Jose, I think when he put his hat in the ring here for the rest of the, for the majority of the season, I think he kind of expected to win.
Well, this is not an easy series to win in, I'll tell you that. This is some of the greatest drivers, or some of the best drivers, I should say, on the service. A lot of times come into the ISCA, and some of the best racing. And you don't, it's not a surprise to see some of the best come in here and want to race in this series because it's so clean. I mean, a lot of times you're going to have respect for one another that you won't find in the official races. As, of course, we see Derek Heitman has gotten by Kenny Powell. He's up to now 8th. Further back, Kenneth Bartholomew in the heat of a battle with Brian Johnson. That's the 73 and the 4. C.J. Holm following behind as well. So battles all over this racetrack. DeCiani, though, still in the lead, even though he has a little bit of a deficit on older tires. He still is in control. As there goes Conti past Kyle Holden. And Conti up in the 6th. Going to see if he can chase down Brandon Pasalacqua in the 6th.
Hadn't talked a lot about Brandon tonight. He's usually one of those front runners, Brian, but for whatever reason, he's just kind of taking it easy right now. Still in the top 5. Hopefully we'll get him somewhere in the top 3 here before too long.
Well, I mean, earlier in this race in stage 1, he was up in 3rd for quite a while. So I don't think it's, I think he's just kind of trying to keep his head down. And I think that's a smart thing to do. I mean, he knows I got to get points. I got to be consistent. Wins aren't going to win me a championship all the time. I mean, I got to be consistent in these style races, especially when you got a Michael Conti in here. And you just want to try to get as many points as you can. If he gets stage points in every stage and finishes in the solid top 10, top 5, finish at the end of this race, that's a successful day. As Michael Conti gets by and moves up into the top 5. Of course, Brandon Pasalacqua on the Paradigm team. Now Michael Conti is subbing for Randy Mullins, which means they are teammates, technically. Caution flag is out.
Looks like the 19 is going to be wrapped up in that one.
Jay Hone in the 19.
And he's been struggling a little bit tonight, Brian. I just been kind of watching him, and he's just not been having an easy time.
Yeah, and I think we might see why right here. Looks like I think he got loose off of turn 2. J.C. Evans had gotten a good run onto the inside, and unfortunately he got spun down to the inside wall here. I think we'll have to take another look at this one to see exactly what happened. It definitely seems like J.C. helped him around. Did he get loose in already, though? That's the key. Watching through the eyes of J.C. Evans, you can see the run. Yeah, I would really put this on J.C. I think J.C. had gotten a great run on the exit, and that's great, but I don't know. This is a tough one. They were verging on 3 wide. I maybe would say this is maybe on both of them. Maybe a 50-50 here, because I mean Jay was not as high as he could have been. This is a tough one right here. Unfortunately, Jay Hone down into the wall here as a result. I don't think JC got any damage out of this this deal. And of course, looking at the most of the drivers out here, about 39 laps on their tires. We're looking at the lucky dog Jai Schultz, able to get a wave around here. So everybody about 40 laps on their tires at the moment. Do we have any takers on pit road? Looks like that's not the case. Everybody electing to stay out, save that set. Of course, Matt DeCiani, he's got 52 laps on his tires. And even though that's the case, he's been holding on to it really well, I got to say. The car seems to be wearing pretty well. I think it might have something to do with also clean air. A lot of times when we see with these next-gen cars, the clean air causes the tires not to wear quite as much as if you're in the dirty air. But we appreciate everybody joining us here tonight. Hopefully you've been enjoying the show here. This has been the ISCA Super Cup Series, and we're at Richmond Raceway for the Napa Auto Parts 250. Definitely make sure you like and subscribe to us, of course, on YouTube, or I do believe streaming on Twitch as well. Comment. Who's your favorite driver? We'd love to hear from you. And tell us if you're enjoying the show. Of course, I do believe pace car lights should be going off any time here.
Yep, time to double them up. Get back to work, Brian.
It's been that. I'd say work. Especially for these drivers out here. This is a physical racetrack.
Yeah, and you're still projecting that we're going to have a long, extensive green flag run, and I'm just sitting here saying, like, when? How?
Well, I mean, I think I have faith that we're going to have a long green run, and I think it's going to come in stage number 3. And I don't think we're going to have a green flag stop, but I think we'll get a 50-plus lap run that'll really sift the wheat, if you will.
Okay, I can buy that.
And there goes the
down and away.
Enters the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out. Matt DeCiani up through the gears. And Jeremy Sumter almost gets underneath the 21. Not quite able to get there. As here comes Michael Conti to the back bumper of the 52. Miller Bonds battling with the 54. Oh, they are side by side, door to door for 4th place.
Miller Bonds rocking the new paint scheme tonight.
Yeah, he's been rocking that blue paint scheme for the last couple nights. I think that's a new season paint for that driver. He wasn't a gold paint scheme last season. We see Conti trying to get underneath the 52 here, battling for 4th place, 3rd place, I should say. Here comes side by side for the lead. Matt DeCiani under fire from Patrick Gitter.
Gitter's got to let his legs stretch just a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see if Conti can get around Sumter.
I mean, look, he did that classic technique where he runs the higher line. We see that Michael Conti running that higher line to try to get the momentum on these straightaways to possibly try to cross over the 52. Look at that. See, there he goes. He's doing this a lot where he'll run higher to build the momentum for the straightaway, and then he'll try to jump underneath. Look, I don't know if he's going to be able to get it. The 52, very great. Jeremy Sumter is defending that bottom line. He does not want to let him get there, but a little bit of a wiggle.
He might not have a choice. I'm telling you, Conti's putting himself in position, so he's going to get fed here pretty soon.
Well, the 52,
and there it is. He passes him on the high side, Brian.
Yeah, Sumter got loose coming out of turn number 4, and that is exactly what Michael Conti needed. Now we have, of course, Team Conti 1, 2, 3 right now. Now, what does Michael do about the 1 and the 21? Do they battle their boss? That's my question.
No, I think it's one of those times where, you know, even though we're teammates, don't wreck me, but yeah, we're going to be respectful of each other.
I mean, I know I'd love to have the honor of racing against Michael Conti. I bet you Michael's not going to be like, hey, you guys just let me by. Like, he's like, I want y'all to race me. As we're now over 100 laps into this race here at Richmond.
And these guys are literally starting to put distance on themselves and the rest of the pack.
And we're getting closer and closer to the end of stage 2. Of course, I think we have 13 laps to go in stage 2. I love the strategy. I hate to keep harping on Michael Conti, but he's running the higher line and just shooting down low, diamonding almost in a way to get that straight run off the exit. Gets so much speed. He loses it in the center of the corner, but on the exit, he is shooting out of the corner. You can see right there the closing rate that he has on the 1 right there. Awesome camera angles here from Kobe Jordan. And noticing a little bit of damage on the 1 there. I think he's impacted the wall a little bit.
Man, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a car down there that doesn't have a scratch on it at this point in the race.
Yeah, that's a good point. Of course, side by side for second place at the moment. Everywhere else is pretty much single filed out. As we're closing in now, I do believe 10 laps to go in stage 2.
Conti slowly making his move on Matt DeCiani. Think he's going to get it done now, going by on the high side. That just means just one driver ahead of him. That's Patrick Gitter.
We do have a race coming to fruition here. I do believe Abner Acosta is starting to challenge. If I'm not mistaken, possibly Derek Heitman not quite able to get there. Here comes Jeremy Sumter. He's going to try to move his way back up into the top 3. Can he get by the 1? The 1 has been hanging on for so long on those older tires, but I think it's starting to show.
Yeah. He's on 20-lap older tires, so.
I'll tell you what I'm noticing here, though, Big Al, is the top 9. 1 through 9 right now in position. They're all very similar when it comes to pace. They're all right there when it comes to lap times. They're hitting around the same lap times. Everybody behind, 10th on back, not able to keep up as well here. So I think we're starting to see the top 9 really differentiate themselves from the rest of the field. Because we see a big gap between 9th and 10th being about 1.5 seconds at the moment. As Matt DeCiani falling back a little bit, trying to hold off Jeremy Sumter. But here comes Abner Acosta. I think we had it right. Let's see Abner Acosta. He shoots in underneath the 76. Remember, these guys have a little history. Abner did get into the 76 earlier.
Just a little bit.
Will he be able to get past him? We'll have to wait and see.
Greg Wachinski is back out onto the race surface. He's turning laps again, so that's good to see.
That it is. We might even have a challenge for the lead here. For less than 5 laps to go. Patrick Gitter has gotten reeled in by Michael Conti. Last time by, Conti was about a 10th of a lap faster. Or 10th of a second faster, I should say. As we're coming up to, I do believe, 3 laps to go in stage number 2. Side by side, Abner Acosta and Heitman.
Yeah, this battle right here is one for the record books.
It's heating up, that's for sure. And it's bringing Brian Johnson into the fray as well as Brandon Passalacqua. As we're coming now 2 laps to go when we cross the start-finish line. As they are still racing neck and neck. Who's going to get 6th? Who is going to get 7th? These guys are definitely looking to determine it.
Ooh, Heitman slugs the wall just a little bit. I think that is going to give Abner just a slight advantage. That was all he needed right there, man. Heitman just so slightly tagged the wall.
And, of course, we also have Jeremy Sumter and Miller Bonds racing as well. They're getting very close. Bonds got side-by-sides with Sumter there for a moment. Not quite able to get it done. As white flag is out for stage 2. They're side-by-side for the lead. As Conti had gone to the inside, and I think this is going to be a battle coming to the checker, or the checkered flag for stage number 2, and Gitter barely going to hang on to it. Conti was putting the works on him, that's for sure. Caution flag is out. Patrick Gitter, stage 2 winner. Michael Conti in second place. Matt DeCiani third. Jeremy Sumter fourth. Miller Bonds in fifth. Abner Acosta in sixth. Seventh, Derek Heitman. Eighth, Brandon Passalacqua. Ninth, Brian Johnson. And Kenny Powell rounds out the top 10 stage finishers. With that, we'll take a brief step away. We'll come back and we'll talk to whoever Big Al wants to talk to.
Cardiology, I don't have the heart. Pulmonary doctor, no cigar. I can't diagnose a simple cold or flu, but if your engine's got a cough, I know what to do. Give it 6 of these and wash it down with this. A new air filter ought to help it catch its breath. Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ISCA Super Cup Series. Of course, we just finished out stage number 2. We, of course, saw Patrick Gitter able to hold off team boss Michael Conti. Big Al standing by.
Patrick Gitter, Big Al up in the booth. How you got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Man, congratulations there for your stage 2 victory.
I appreciate that, man. It wasn't easy. I got the boss man behind me. I'm trying to make sure I don't wreck one of his cars, keep it clean, give each other room. But that was fun there. Shout out to him, racing me clean there. It was all I could do to hold him off. Knew he was coming. Figured it was just a matter of time before we saw him up here.
So is it a little bit more pressure when you got the boss man behind you like that?
I don't know. I mean, I've been with these guys for a while, and I'm fortunate to have a good relationship with them, know how they race, and I think they know how I race, and so it's a lot of fun being able to race with them whenever we get the opportunity. But I don't know, man. It's just fun, especially in this kind of environment, in this league where everybody races so well with one another. I think it's just a really good opportunity to get guys like Michael out here and have fun with the group.
How's Richmond treating you tonight?
I like it, man. Richmond's probably my favorite short track. I've done a ton of tour mod racing on the service here, so I've had good success in those cars here and good success in the next gen. So I don't know. I've enjoyed it. I like the technicality of the track. I have to drive the car, so it's worked out well for us tonight so far. We'll just see how it goes the rest of the race.
Well, man, congratulations again and good luck to you here for this last stage. Before we let you go, man, who you shouting out for your stage 2 victory?
Yeah, man. First off, Team Conti Sim Performance for the great set this week. I mean, we've been on a freaking roll. I mean, clearly we've had customer wins, we've had house guys winning. I mean, this set that we've had is money, so everybody's been benefiting from that. Shout out to my teammates, Martin PC, C12 Design Shop, and you guys in the booth.
Man, appreciate you, brother. We'll let you get back to it. Good luck for you in the last stage.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that was Patrick Gitter. Definitely a great job, great performance, and they definitely have a really good setup this week for sure. As, of course, they have 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Pace car lights have gone out. Time to get this thing underway. This is when the race really begins, Big Al. I'm hoping we get to see that long run.
Yeah, man, you're optimistic, but I'm just sitting here saying, I'm sitting right beside you. I just don't think we're seeing the same thing.
Yeah, we're just watching two different races. This is the pace car has gone down. And here we are, stage number 3 underway. Patrick Gitter up through the gears, side by side between teammates here. Matt DeCiani and, of course, Conti. Now, Conti, if you've noticed, Big Al, is not in the same channel as the other Team Conti drivers. So that is kind of curious to note. They're not communicating, Team Conti. As look at that, Miller Bonds, a little bit slow.
High and wide on that, and that's going to cause a little bit of confusion as it ripples through the rest of the raceway. But, man, I'm talking about Conti on that restart. Now, we've seen enough restarts where Sumter was even starting to figure it out, but no one got the read on that restart like Conti did. The way he just kind of manipulated his way down right into second place. I mean, that just goes to show that you know, it is worth his hype.
Yeah, no, I mean, he knows what he's doing. I think that's clear. I mean, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. But I got to say, though, I got to give everybody else in this series a ton of credit because they haven't laid over. It hasn't been like he's just absolutely dominated the race. He hasn't. He has not dominated the race, and I think that speaks volumes to the ISCA. Here we go, J.C. Evans battling with Frank Flores.
A lot of talented guys in this league as we are now almost officially halfway through this beast. Yes, now we're officially halfway through this.
Now we are. Abner Acosta has gotten up into the top 5. Of course, he's trying to work his way up to the back end of, I do believe, Jeremy Sumter. Sumter getting loose on the exit there. Going to hold on to it.
And you best believe Abner's got an axe to grind, man. He started this thing further back in the back. He has marched all the way through the front.
Oh, Sumter loose on exit.
Dancing in the grass. Caution's not going to come out as he is out of the race surface, man. So just bad luck for him.
That was a weird one right there. Jeremy Sumter getting loose on out of turn 4. We're going to take another look at that and see exactly what happened.
That's the one that gets you, though.
That's the worst one. I mean, he just lost it gradually. I think we're going to have to take a cockpit camera to watch this one back again. We could take a look through the eyes of Sumter. I'm wondering maybe... So, yeah, just all of a sudden lost it getting back to the gas. And that speaks back to what I talked about earlier about throttle control. And I think that he might have... made a mistake there with his throttle control. Abner Acosta under fire from Derek Heitman right now.
We've all done that, by the way.
Yeah, especially at this track. I mean, this track is difficult. I mean, this is one that he's been running a great race, and you make one little mistake, and now your race goes from, running up in the top 3, top 5 all race long to now not even in the top 15. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's 21st now.
Hopefully he doesn't give up. Hopefully he's able to get back out there and, get some points. This battle, though, is right now with Derek Heitman and Abner Acosta this is a fiery, intense battle right here. You can see, of course, Abner trying to hold on. You can see Heitman, though, he is driving it up right to the back bumper of the 55. Well, Miller Bond's sitting there hungry, too. He's hungry.
And Miller has to be hungry because he's got Brandon Passalacqua right behind him, and he's got Brian Johnson behind him. So everybody's got a whole rearview mirror full of, crap, put the hammer down.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, this is not an easy, drive here for a lot of these drivers. I mean, they got drivers all around them right now. Oh, you see, like he gets the run up to the back bumper of Abner on the middle of the corner. And that's the thing about these race cars is a lot of these drivers have their car set up to be stronger at different points of the racetrack. And I love what I'm seeing there from Heitman. He kind of diamonds the corner a little bit. Let's see what he does in 3 and 4. He closes in quite a bit in the center. He loses it on the exit, so it looks like Abner has the stronger run on exit. And that's where you're going to want to have the strength, is on the exit of the corner.
Now I'm waiting to see just how hard it is for Abner and Heitman to catch up to DeCiani and Conti and company. We know these guys are strong runners. We know they're strong contenders. Right now Abner's in fourth, man, but are they going to be able to muster up and catch those guys? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Here comes Heitman, though, to the inside. Side by side for 4th place. They're trying to make it a Team Conti 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, even though, yes, that would be a Team Conti 1, 2, 3, 4, technically in the ISCA, it actually would be Michael Conti. He is driving for a Paradigm driver, which is it's really interesting how that works out. I'm surprised it wasn't a conflict of interest, but of course, the points would go to Randy Mullins. I do also want to mention to anybody that is curious, Randy Mullins, Michael Conti, if he wins this race, Randy Mullins will not be locked into the playoffs, and he also will not get playoff points for this. He will get stage points, and he will get the points for the finish. So that's kind of a curious thing. But, you know, I know a lot of times in this series and in NASCAR in general, when you win a race, you're locked into the playoffs. Michael is a substitute, so it does not count if he wins this race like it would if Randy had actually driven the car and won. But, of course, at the moment, Patrick Gitter is in the lead. Heitman has gotten by Abner Acosta. As now Miller Bonds is on the attack, trying to get up to Abner's back bumper. And here he goes, making a move around the top side. Miller Bonds, can he make it happen?
Yeah, not wasting any time. You know, Miller was up there, and then he actually kind of I think he was involved in a skirmish of some sort. So he fell backward, he got loose. That's what it was. He got loose on the high side. That caused him to fall back. But there he is now.
Yeah, to 12 of Miller Bonds. The 12. Of course, going side by side, trying to get by Abner Acosta. Battling with the 55 at the moment. As you can see, they're going side by side. Miller was having a pretty good run up on top of the track. Now he's trying to go to the bottom, and I think that car just does not seem to want to handle as well, wrapping around the bottom. It's just so difficult to get runs off the exits. As we see, Brandon Passalacqua as well has entered the fray. He's not too far back from these guys.
Paradigm guys have
into this run right now.
Yeah, Paradigm guys having a strong run here tonight.
Oh yeah, Paradigm's definitely having a good, strong run. Unfortunately, Josh Schaffner had some issues earlier in this race. Otherwise, I'm sure he definitely wishes that he was doing better. But definitely Brian Johnson having a good run. Brandon Passalacqua having a good run. I don't think these guys are showing their full hand. Kenny Powell, G&G having a good run here. Of course, his other teammates not as good. Mark Sanchez and Greg Wachinski both having issues here tonight. But Kenny Powell's, for the most part, stayed out of trouble.
Yeah, they got J.C. Evans there as well.
Yeah, that's correct.
He's in 13th place. Jeffrey Ford's being scored in 20th.
And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jeffrey Ford, I don't think he's on G&G. I think he's got his own team. I think he's races with Derek Jacobs. Unfortunately, Jacobs not in the series here tonight. As we go, we see some battling starting to happen here for 9th, as that is Kyle Holden in the 59, starting to challenge the 24. Michael Conti battling for the lead. He goes around the top side, and I think we might see Michael Conti take over. And this is why when I said, Randy, how did you manage to get Michael Conti to drive for you? I mean, this is a big deal. I mean, this is huge right here. And I even asked Kenny Powell, I was like, Powell being the owner of this series, is like, is this okay? Like, having Michael Conti come out here and race for another driver, and Kenny says, he's not technically a pro anymore. He has retired from the Coke Series, and now he is in control of this race. As he's got now a 4/10 of a second gap. Now he's gotten by Gitter. He's starting to pull away.
Yeah, and unfortunately for these guys, I think they're going to run into that lap traffic that we were talking about. That's going to be happening sooner than later. Now, when they do get into the lap traffic, Brian, it's going to be interesting to see. That's my thing. It's going to be interesting to see just how much of an impact it does have, man. There's just not a lot of passing lanes around this place.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I do want to go back to Jeremy Sumter. Jeremy Sumter, who fell all the way back to 21st, he is now back in 17th He's got up a couple spots. He's just got by Randy Belk, now trying to chase down Jay Hone. Of course, we just saw a battle, I do believe, going on further up through the field. I think Kyle Holden just made it by Kenny Powell. I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of an update on what was going on with the 52.
Well, Miller Bond's definitely losing his bite. Abner's starting to slip away just a little bit. Those guys are right there, and for whatever reason, it just, they're not there. And, if we think about it, unfortunately, I don't think the G&G guys are doing that good tonight, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny was looking really strong on the shorter run, but I think he might have hurt his equipment here. A lot of these guys are thinking that they're going to have these short spurts of running, but I think we're setting up for a long run. And you can clearly see that things are starting to spread out here. Drivers that have a little bit more of a long run car are starting to, really shine right now. And I think Miller Bonds is kind of struggling a little bit here. He's under fire from Brandon Pasalacqua. Brian Johnson's not far behind as well. We know Brian's always great on the longer runs. But I mean, looking at lap times, Big Al, we're seeing an 0.8 of a second, 0.6 of a second of fall off right now. So this is substantial.
Yeah, and this is probably one of the longer runs that they have been. This is 35 laps consecutively without a caution. So that's another thing to kind of keep into consideration. But Brian, I think we're getting ready to get slowed down here.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing the lap times slowing down. That's for sure. And that, of course, could cause some drivers to start having handling woes if they have not raced had a long run like this before. This could maybe show, weaker drivers, and we could see maybe that throttle control start to hurt some people. As we're looking at Jeffrey Ford, really awesome camera angle as he's getting ready to. I think he just got lapped by Michael Conti. Of course, we see Patrick Gitter just caught up to him. So yeah, the snake is eating its tail right now, and lap traffic, especially with the handling of these race cars starting to go away. Lap traffic is going to be a difficult thing to deal with.
You don't realize it, but we only have 13 cars that are actually on the lead lap. So out of the 27 that we started with, I think we only have 2 that aren't running currently.
I actually have 19. I hate to correct you. We have 19 right now that are on the lead lap. That's first all the way back to 19th, Josh Schaffner. But yeah, Schaffner's getting ready to go a lap down. That's for sure. And Jeffrey Ford just went a lap down. But yeah, we're going to see a lot of people go a lap down here probably quick, fast, and in a hurry. As a 10 of Blair Holloman, I think he was already a lap down, so he just got passed by Conti just now. This is going to be an obstacle course in a lot of ways, Big Al. It's going to be a minefield when it comes to getting passed here by lap traffic. And it's all about where you pass someone, where you catch them, I should say. Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm sure a lot of guys are going to try to do their part to kind of stay out of the way, stay high.
Well, you just saw right there, I was just looking at Patrick Gitter. He caught up to Greg Wyszynski at just the wrong point. He caught him on the exit of the corner, and that caused Gitter to slow down. He lost about a half a second because of Greg Wyszynski, and Greg was just running his line. That's the thing about it. None of these guys have to move out of the way.
Nope, definitely would be considered a courtesy.
It is definitely considered a courtesy. As Michael Conti now 1.5 seconds on the field. Of course, closest battle right now, I do believe, is Miller Bonds and Brandon Pasalacqua. Of course, that is the 12 and the 6. They are right on top of each other right now. Everybody else pretty far away from it. I know Abner Acosta has caught up back up to Derek Heitman. Of course, we saw Heitman get past Abner earlier. So we do have some battles that are coming to fruition here 160 laps in. Of course, 42 laps into this stint right here. If you're just joining us, we're in stage number 3, the final stage of the race. We have now, I do believe, just under 90 laps to go at Richmond Raceway. Michael Conti, you're seeing that right. Michael Conti is in the lead of this race.
I think you called it. You called that long run, and that's exactly what we're having now. This is going to be the longest run of the night so far, and when we're just shy of getting 50 laps in it.
Kyle Holden starting to come alive back in 8th place, the 59 machine. Catching up to the back of Brandon Pasalacqua. Here he comes, and he drives right by Pasalacqua like he's not moving. So Kyle Holden seems like his car is coming alive. He's running some of the fastest laps on the racetrack right now. Keep in mind, Kyle Holden was involved in a crash earlier where he had hit his front end, I do believe, on Mark Sanchez. So surprising that he still has speed in that 59 machine. As that Toyota, of course, gets by the lap car of Blair Holloman. And now he's going to try to catch up to Miller Bonds. Now, Bonds last time by was a 10th slower than Holden. So I think it's not going to be too much of an issue for Holden to catch up to the 12 machine.
Well,
this is always the long run is coming down to it's really important.
Yeah, and we're seeing that play out right now in front of us. But these lap times, man, they're actually pretty sporty. But Conti, no matter what, seems to be the fastest a lap after lap. Abner's putting down some pretty fierce lap times.
Yeah, he is. Now, Abner's always been known to be a driver that's very good on the long run. He doesn't slide the tires very much. I mean, think about this. I mean, Abner was incredibly strong at COTA last week, and in order to be good at a track like that, you have to be good at not sliding the tires, not making mistakes. In Richmond, I think that pays dividends. And here we go, Abner to the inside. Can he make it by the 76?
I think we got green flag pit stops going on as well. The 29 of Sanchez as well as the 10 of Blair Holloman, both are down pit road right now.
Yeah, interesting to see green flag pit stops as their tires probably hurting pretty good. It looks like
50 laps,
Mark comes back out. He's staying right there. I don't see them moving as the race definitely heating up right now for 6th place. It's Kyle Holden to the inside, the 59 challenging the 12 once again. The 12 versus the 59. Here we go. Side by side for 6th place. This is definitely heating up. Miller, not one of the easier drivers to pass, I got to say. I think if we were to do a poll, I know that they did a poll, I think, for the most recent NASCAR race on who the hardest driver was to pass. And I think it came out to be Ross Chastain. I wonder who it would be in this series.
Yeah, I bet it is Ross Chastain as well.
In this one? He's not racing, Big Al.
I'm going to say Frank Flores is.
Oh, okay. Frank's going to take offense to that. I can see that.
Definitely Randy Mullins. Or Darren Mullins.
Darren Mullins. I think a lot of people would agree with you on
Darren
that Mullins. 170 laps down, though, here in this race, as we have, I do believe, coming up to less than 80 laps to go here. Michael Conti, 2.5-second gap on Patrick Gitter. Patrick Gitter, of course, last time by was, I do believe, about a 10th slower than Michael Conti. Of course, Matt DeCiani, he's got 1.8 seconds behind, or a gap between him and Patrick Gitter. Derek Heitman's about a half a second behind. So definitely a lot of action here for 4th and 5th at the moment as Abner Acosta still challenging. As you can see, there's a pretty good little gaggle of cars here, 4th, 5th, and 6th right here on top of each other. I should say 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I should say. And could we see green flag stops? Keep this in mind, Big Al. The fuel window is, I do believe, 125 laps.
Indeed, it is.
And if the green... yeah, go ahead.
Tires, I think, are going to be more of an issue than fuel.
Yeah, that definitely, I think I could agree to that. If we stay green for this entire last run, as there we are, side by side. I love these camera angles that we have here.
They're definitely going to have to stop at least once, Brian. But I'm thinking these guys are probably going to decide that based on how long they can stay out on their tires.
Yeah, I mean, of course, fuel-wise, they could probably stay out or keep running until we got about 10 laps to go in this race. But I think tire-wise, it doesn't make sense to do that. But very slow pit lane. I think I think it's going to be incredibly big decision to try to green flag pit around this place.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge strategy, man, because if you're just thinking about it, I mean, you don't want to, you want to stay out as long as you can because you don't want to be down pit road and get caught up with somebody wrecking, you know what I mean? Because at this point...
Hey, look at this. I mean, they're close to wrecking right now. I mean, you can see, look at this race between Heitman and Abner and Matt DeCiani. I mean, these guys, they're racing hard.
Yeah, indeed they are.
And this could bring in Kyle Holden. Kyle Holden last time by 22.558. That was faster than these guys ahead of him by 2 or 3 tenths. And that's because these guys are racing and they're slowing each other down. And there goes, of course,
and they are racing.
They are. Heitman has gotten around Matt DeCiani. Now Acosta is going to see if he could possibly get by the 1. Michael Conti, now 3.5 seconds is his lead over Patrick Gitter. Of course, Derek Heitman has moved up into the 3rd place position. So gaps all over this racetrack, except for this battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. There are no gaps there. And I think we're getting ready to have a 4th member enter this fight for the top 3, and that is Kyle Holden. As he is now a 2nd back and quickly catching these drivers. We're looking on the roof camera of Matt DeCiani. Of course, he has gotten passed by Abner Acosta. As we're now 70 laps to go here at Richmond Raceway.
Big things happening down here on the racetrack tonight, Brian.
It is. I mean, this is a true challenge for these drivers out here to see who's got the long run pace. And I'll tell you, Michael Conti definitely seems like he's the one with it right now. But we're also seeing other drivers that are starting to come to show off their long run speed. And I think Abner Acosta, clearly one of them. Derek Heitman, clearly one of them. Kyle Holden, really love what I'm seeing from him. Also, Brian Johnson, I should say, he's gotten by Brandon Pasalacqua, so he's up to 8th right now. And of course, we could possibly see green flag stops. I think that would have been unheard of, something that we never would have predicted. As Randy Bell, of course, now a lap down.
I'm watching every corner of this thing, man, because I think the wheels are going to fall off this operation at some point. I don't see how we could possibly have as many cautions as we did and then still get the privilege of having green flag pit stops.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think something's going to go wrong at some point. It's just when. Is it after the decision has been made to green flag stop? I think that's the key, Big Al. I think that's what it's all going to come down to. A caution will come out probably at some point, but it might even be as a result of people coming down pit road.
I say, you're jockeying right now. I say you don't come down till there's at least 50 to go, because that's a manageable number in terms of everything. Now, unfortunately, to get there, you're going to have to drive further and longer than you have all night as well.
Kyle Holden just made the pass on Matt DeCiani. He moves up into 5th. And now he's going to see if he could chase down Abner Acosta. Of course, Abner and Derek Heitman, they have been, I tell you, they got a magnet for each other because they have been around each other all race long.
I think that just goes to show you that they're both very talented drivers, man. And, I mean,
they are.
That's what I get from that.
And, of course, Abner once again challenging as he's going to see if he could possibly get up into the top 3. It looks like we got somebody coming down pit road. Patrick Gitter, green flag pit stop.
Greg Wachinski, Patrick Gitter on pit road. That's true.
Patrick Gitter pitting from the 2nd place position. This is going to be a trendsetter right here.
Frank Flores.
Him doing this is going to probably initiate a lot more drivers coming down pit road.
Heitman coming down pit road.
Yep, exactly.
So green flag pit stops have officially begun.
And we thought we weren't going to see him tonight. How about that?
Yeah, I know, right? Just when you thought, I mean, Hey, we could have let Ralph get a little time in with Thelma Lou, you know.
Well, he's getting with Mary Lou and Thelma Lou. Oh, goodness.
Hey.
Here comes Abner to pit road. Abner Acosta coming to pit road. Kenny Powell's on pit road. Michael Conti still out on the racetrack.
We're still watching this thing. It could still.
Here comes Michael Conti.
Looks like we're going to cycle through.
Everybody essentially making their way to pit road as we're coming up to 61 laps to go. And this is definitely something I did not think was going to happen at Richmond Raceway. I thought we were going to get a long green run, but not this long of a green run. Wow. Jose Medina up to the top spot right now. Jeremy Sumter still out on the racetrack. If a caution comes out, this would be a heck of a recovery for the 52. As let's see where everybody shakes out. Michael Conti, I do believe, going to be the net leader still here. He had a 5-second gap on Patrick Gitter before pit stops. Now, of course, Patrick has, with that call to pit earlier, did gain some time there as a result.
60 laps to go. Well, 59 laps to go now, Brian. So I think we can clearly start to see the end of this thing and see how it's shaping up.
There goes Randy Belk. Oh, Belk misses pit road.
Well, that ain't good.
That ain't good at all. Hopefully he's able to get to pit road this next time. But Jose Medina comes to pit road.
Yeah, but missing pit road.
Back in the lead.
Missing pit road, man, that's a long way around on a slow lap. Well, that's not what you need at this stage in a race.
No, definitely not. And Jose had been doing really well here tonight and unfortunately makes that big of a mistake. I'm sorry, Randy Belk made that mistake, not Jose. Jeremy Sumter still out front. Of course, he's got about a 9-second gap on Josh Schaffner as Michael Conti comes up quickly to Schaffner. As we're on lap 194, closing in on 200 very, very quickly.
55 laps to go at the line. Green flag pit stops in the books. I mean, yeah.
Couldn't ask for a better race here tonight at Richmond Raceway. I'll tell you that.
It's been a good race.
Looks like Jeremy Sumter coming to pit road a little bit late here. Going to have newer tires than most everybody here. Let's see how this plays out for him. I think this is more of a desperation move. We saw him get loose earlier in the race. Michael Conti, though, back up to the top spot.
Yeah, man, I think you're going to need a little bit more than fresh Goodyears to catch up with Conti, though.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think this is definitely his race to lose at the moment.
Yeah, you would need the whole rabbit, not just the foot.
Abner Acosta, though, net's going to be in third place. So with his pit stop, he was able to jump Derek Heitman and moves up into that third place position. Of course, he's last week's winner at the Circuit of the Americas. He does have a lot of lap cars that are in front of him, including, well, Josh Schaffner, not technically a lap car. He's on old tires and is currently in third, but Abner's getting ready to take that third place position from him.
The Schaffner doesn't have all of his car with him, if I can recall.
Well, yeah, he did lose his front bumper earlier in this race. Looks like they put it back on, which is good. And he gets past. And Abner Acosta now is up to, of course, that third place position. Now, this is when things get scary, Big Alvin. With all this lap traffic, top 10 are the only ones that are on the lead lap currently. And this, you know, when you have it where like half the field's a lap down and half the field's on the lead lap, and everybody's,
everybody's, running different paces because of the tire strategies that are in front of him, including Josh Schaffner not technically a lap car. He's on old tires, and is currently in third, but Abner's getting ready to take that third place position from him. I think this is more of a desperation move. We saw him get loose earlier in this race. Let's see how this plays out for him. I think this is more of a desperation move. We saw him get loose earlier in this race. Michael Conti, though, back up to the top spot.
this is when things get dangerous, because this, especially at this track. This track, it's all about trying to predict when someone's going to mash that brake, right? And it's hard to do that when everybody's on different tires.
Yeah, those braking points do tend to shift.
They do, very much so. But I think after now that we've had a green flag stop, I think let's take a brief step away, pay some attention to our sponsors, and we'll cover the last 50 laps here at Richmond.
Cardiology, I don't have a heart. Pulmonary doctor, no cigar. I can't diagnose a simple cold or flu, but if your engine's got a cough, I know what to do. Give it 6 of these and wash it down with this. A new air filter ought to help it catch its breath. Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
You served and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallenVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service interests and hobbies. FallenVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallenVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallenVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ISCA Super Cup Series here at Richmond Raceway. Well, you didn't miss much. Of course, we stayed green the entire commercial break. Michael Conti still up in the lead. He's got about a 5-second gap back to Patrick Gitter. Of course, Abner Acosta, he has taken over third. He is in the midst of a fight, though, with Derek Heitman right now. So that's the 55 and the 76 battling. Kyle Holden, of course, he's a little bit about 2.6 seconds back from Heitman, trying to work his way up into that fourth place position. But let's take a look on that battle for fourth. That, of course, is as I mentioned, the 55 and the 76. Heitman seems to be really good on the shorter run, while Abner seems to be a little bit better on the longer run. So let's see if Heitman can maybe get his way around the 50, or I should say the 55. But what a thrilling race we've seen. I even talked about it under commercial break, Big Al. I did not expect us to have green flag pit stops. I know I said we'd have a long run, but I did not expect this.
Yeah, no, did not expect it. Still don't believe it. Don't believe this. It's fake.
It's fake. It's not. It's not real.
Fake racing.
I think these guys have definitely. What would they say? Fixed. It's a fixed race.
Yeah,
they're just putting on an entertainment show right now for us.
But just going through the top 10, Brian. I mean that speaks. I mean, I don't think the people at home really understand just how good these guys. I mean, Michael Conti is leading this thing, and now behind him, Patrick Gitter, and Patrick he's a thoroughbred. When this is a dude who literally, when they unload the car, from the time that they get off to the time that they put it back on the trailer, I mean they're going fast, right? And then Abner Acosta, who Abner came back this year, I think he's here to avenge his little brother.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, he's here to avenge his brother. And
just to add on to what you're saying about Patrick Gitter, though, you got to keep in mind he won the championship last season.
Yeah, then there's that. Yeah, but this is turning out to be a list of who's who, man.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, you got Derek Heitman, and there goes Kenny Powell getting lapped right there. That's going to put, I do believe, 8 drivers on the lead lap as Michael Conti gets by him. But going back to what I was saying about Heitman, I mean Heitman is not a slouch either. This top 4, I should say, are the heavy hitters of this series that we've seen dominate races. We've seen them dominate races. We've seen them dominate multiple races. It's not a surprise when you see Patrick Gitter, Abner Acosta, or Derek Heitman win multiple races in a season. That's something we have seen a bunch, and if this continues, and now you add Kyle Holden onto it,
right?
I think we're going to have it. Yeah,
because he's right there in 5th place. Don't tell nobody. But if, these guys all dominate the storyline. It's not just about dominating races. It's like when they're in a race, no matter what series they're in, people are talking about them.
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, and that's just something that we expect to see. And I think this season's going to be amazing as a result of that. I mean, I got to be honest, Big Al. I mean, and I'm not saying this lightly. This has been probably one of the best starts to a season in the ISCA I've ever seen. I mean, we've been, of course, calling these races for a couple of years now, Big Al. And I tell you, this is we have more population in the series, and we got more competition. I'm talking about top-level talent.
I think the least amount of participants we've had in any race was the Dakota race, and it was 24.
I think that's correct. I mean tonight we got 27.
So we're doing pretty good here.
100%. As we're now less than 25 laps to go here at Richmond. And Michael Conti, 6.5 second gap on Patrick Gitter. Heitman is all over the rear end of the 76. It's the 76 trying to get by Jose Medina. Of course, Jose, he's in the top 10. He is 10th place and a lap down. That just shows you how fast this leader is. But also we had green flag stops, so a lot of varieties of strategies there. I do want to mention something I did not talk about before the commercial break we had. Miller Bonds, he, of course, before pit road, he was in the top 10. After pit road, he became 2 laps down. So I think he might have had a penalty. So that's going to be unfortunate for the 12 machine.
Man, like you always say, you drive for show. And you pit
I
for
say
show.
that. That's you that says that.
Okay, well, like I say.
I say, I'm not going to take your copyright. That's you. You made that. That's you.
I just had a little bit of discovery at the start of this race here. I'll tell you a quick story. Back when I first met you, I called a race with you opposite Nolan. I think Nolan was gone, and shortly after that, we were in the same practice session or same race. And I was like, this dude, man, he's all celebrity. He's too good to even like get, say hey. But I realized that you didn't know my name was Alfonso.
Yeah. No, I mean, I am too good. I'm not going to talk to you, so. No. You know better than that, Big Al. But yeah, no, that's interesting, man. Me and you've been knowing each other for a long time. And it's been fun calling these races, and it doesn't get old, that's for sure. I very much enjoy it. And watching these guys out here compete week in and week out doesn't get old, as well as Abner Acosta, of course, trying to hold on to Derek Heitman, or hold on to that position, that third place spot, as we're now coming up to 18 laps to go. Tell you what, blink and you'll miss it. The end of this race is coming up quickly.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's been awesome. And I'm just, I'm really happy that we were actually able to get through all of the lap traffic without having major issues. But it's been a Michael Conti show. It's been a master class of Conti, if you could.
And the thing is the man started back in 23rd position. I mean, it didn't even qualify, and he drove his way up into the lead. And here comes Derek Heitman to the inside of Abner, racing side by side for third place. They are racing hard. Now, even though we've had such a tremendous long green run, this could all go away in just a moment's notice. I mean, all it takes is Abner. They're not going to give up. They're getting closer to the end. I mean, their heart rates are starting to get higher.
J.C. Evans is right there in the mix of things, and these guys aren't going to lift. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. They're going to fight.
That's unfortunate. J.C. kind of got right there, and that slowed Abner down just enough to get
crossover, though.
Edge.
Abner with a crossover. Can he make it happen? Not quite able to stay there. They are side by side. At this point? I mean, I think Abner seems like he's better on the little bit longer run. Of course, he's always been a great driver under the brakings. He's very smooth with his inputs. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Derek right now seems to have a little bit more speed than Abner.
Yeah, those two guys have been battling constantly. You know, I just think, and I'm just thinking, I'm just saying that just goes to say how close they are in their driving skills. You know what I mean? They're mirroring each other almost. I mean, like
they've stayed together all race long. I mean, and at some points they've stayed together in a bad way when it comes to.
And that's got to be. I know, but that's got to be fun though. When you come down here and you're beating and banging with a guy the entire race, that's a lot more fun than just say coming out here and just riding around by yourself.
Yeah, no, 100%. I definitely agree with you.
12 laps to go, 11 laps to go now, and this last 10's going to go real fast, y'all.
That it will. Michael Conti, of course, he has sailed away. 7 seconds is his lead as he, of course, catches on. He's catching up to Brian Johnson. If that's telling you anything, Brian Johnson is in 8th place and is probably going to end up going a lap down here if if Michael Conti has anything to say about it. I mean, it's hard to, battle with a Coke Series champion. Of course, Coke Series, I do believe 30 plus of the best drivers on the service. I think it's actually 40 of the best drivers that are on the service go head to head in the iRacing Coca-Cola iRacing Series. And Michael Conti has hoisted that trophy before, and that's a big accomplishment. And to have him on your back bumper is kind of a scary feeling.
Yeah, indeed.
But I'll tell you, I loved his debut in this series. I mean, I'm so glad. What a treat it has been, and hopefully we get to chat him up, after he hoists the trophy here tonight.
Yeah, man, you're going to get a chance to chat with Conti. That definitely got to be that make you feel pretty good as well.
Well, I mean, I have talked to him, maybe not in voice chat before, but I have talked to him in other, iRacing specific things. But yeah, no, I mean, I look forward to it, to kind of picking his brain, maybe even about finding out how this came about, with him and Randy Mullins, and just definitely very much looking forward to chatting him up. And of course, it's going to be a Team Conti celebration if it stays the way it is. I mean, you got to think Michael Conti's up in the lead, Patrick Bitter's in second, and Derek Heitman is in third. And I'll tell you what, Randy Mullins, he picked the best driver that could possibly fill his shoes here tonight.
Yeah, I'm a little offended that he didn't ask me, but I understand it.
That would have been pretty funny. Hey, Alfonso, would you mind, Big Al, would you mind driving my car tonight? What would you have said, Big Al?
I got you, man. I got you. 5 laps to go.
I would have told him, are you sure?
Yeah. I'm all about it.
Yep. I don't know if he would have got as many points as Michael Conti here today.
I'd have probably been more popular, though.
Yeah.
You would have said my name more times in the broadcast.
100%. As Michael Conti closes in on the back of Brian Johnson, coming up to 3 laps to go. Will Brian go a lap down? I do believe it's definitely possible, as John Schaubner now goes a second lap down. He's in 13th.
And
right
the
now,
frustration that guys like Schaubner must be facing, man.
And there goes Brian Johnson. He goes a lap down. That leaves 7 drivers on the lead lap. Coming up to 2 laps to go. Patrick Gitter with a 7.4 second gap. Back to, or should I say, Michael Conti with a 7.4 second gap. And what a race. Next time by, we're going to be hitting that white flag as he exits turn 4, Michael Conti. We'll take the 1 to go sign, and we will run stage 3 completely green. Stage 3 went completely green as the white flag is out, and Michael Conti, if nothing catastrophic happens, will win this race. Here he comes to 3 and 4, and he exits turn number 4 onto the front stretch as the winner in his first race in the ISCA Super Cup Series. Brian Johnson comes up and gives him a tap. Congratulations. Patrick Gitter secures second. Derek Heitman comes home in third. That is a Team Conti 1, 2, 3. Of course, technically, Paradigm won this race because Michael was driving for Randy Mullins. But still, that is essentially a Team Conti 1, 2, 3 for the setup shop. What a performance from these drivers out here. Let's go ahead and leave. He's going to be doing a burnout. Let's let him do a burnout, and then we'll run down through our running order. Well, that wasn't much of a burnout. Well, let's go ahead and run down through our results here.
You think he knows how to put it in gear?
Hey, yeah, he probably does. Michael Conti, your winner here tonight with a 7+ second lead. Patrick Gitter, of course, finishes in second. Derek Heitman in third. Abner Acosta finishes fourth. Kyle Holden in fifth. Matt DeCiani in sixth. Brandon Pastelak was seventh. Brian Johnson, first driver of the lap, down in 8th. Kenny Powell, 9th. Good job to Kenny Powell. 10th, Jose Medina. I think this might be his first top 10.
That's going to put 11th place with Kenneth Bartholomew, 12th, Rainey Drumhiller. Josh Schaffner in 13th. Frank Flores comes home in 14th. 15th is Jay Hone. 16th, Miller Bond. 17th, Randy Belt. J.C. Evans comes home in 18th. 19th, Greg Wachinski. And Jeffrey Ford rounds out the top 20.
Jeremy Sumter, who qualified on the pole, he, of course, won stage number 1, finishes 21st. Blair Holloman is 22nd. Mark Sanchez, 23rd. Jai Schultz, 24th. Darren Mullins, 25th. Greg Carr in 26th. And Paul Olson rounds out this 27-car field. With that, we're going to take a brief step away. We'll come back and we'll talk to our top 3.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Cardiology, I don't have the heart. Pulmonary doctor, no cigar. I can't diagnose a simple cold or flu, but if your engine's got a cough, I know what to do. Give it 6 of these and wash it down with this. A new air filter ought to help it catch its breath. Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ISCA Super Cup Series. Of course, what a thrilling race here at Richmond Raceway. Just shocking to see that Stage 3 went 100% green. Not what we expected at all. We saw green flag pit stops. What a race. Of course, my name is Brian Brett. We have Big Al, of course, as my co-commentator. We're going to go ahead and get right into the meat and potatoes of this. We're going to talk to our top 3 finishers. Derek Heitman, of course, going to be up first. Derek started 15th, finished 3rd. You had a little bit of an up and down day, to say the least. How you feeling?
That was a big up and down day. Made a couple dumb mistakes, got caught up in some mayhem, but yeah, was able to recover for a P3 and slide back up in here.
100%. I know the first accident was between you and Abner Acosta. Of course, Abner had kind of sent it in a little bit and caught you. And nothing really you could do in that situation. But the second one, we saw you had a little bit of a shifting mishap. What happened there?
I shifted down and it just went in a third, and I don't think I clicked the button twice, and I know for sure I didn't blip the throttle twice, so I don't know what that was. The deal with Abner and I is no harm, no foul. I actually didn't even have any damage from that whatsoever, and then I gave myself damage when I money shifted it down to third and to 1. So hate it for Blair. Blair got caught up in that, but car was good. We were able to recover and bring it back up here.
Yeah, definitely. Seemed like you definitely had a fast race car. Now, Abner and you seemed like y'all had to battle quite a bit. I mean, pretty interesting fighting. Did that give you more respect for him, or did you enjoy that fighting?
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely respect Abner. I've never had anything against him. He's a good, clean racer. He's super fast, and keeps me true to my game.
100%. Well, definitely great job to you, Derek. You've been putting in performance after great performance after great performance. I mean, I think points wise, you might even have the points lead after this race. Definitely awesome job. Martinsville's next week. How you feeling about that one?
It'll be my first time there, so I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know how I'm. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be good next week. I always have a trouble with wheel hop in the left front on entry to Martinsville every single time I've ever been there. So we'll try to make something happen and run it up front. But name of the game there is gonna be survival for me.
Yeah, I think that's been definitely the name of the game here tonight as well, Derek. But great job to you on your third place finish. Who can we shout out?
Definitely shout out Conti for winning the race and always building us fast setups. Shout out to Matt as well for doing work on the setup, getting us an opportunity to be faster and find a little bit more speed for us. Shout out you guys up the fans in the stands tonight. It's I think the race ran to about 11 o'clock sim time, so they got a late one. And shout out Kenny for putting on the league.
100%. Thanks, Derek. We appreciate your time. We'll see you next week at Martinsville.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Derek Heitman, driver of the 76 machine. Next up, Big Al standing by with Patrick Gitter.
Patrick Gitter, guess who it is again? It's Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you, Big Al.
Man, I tell you what, not a shabby performance tonight. Sometimes coming in P2, is almost like winning this thing, especially chasing a guy like Conti. So you got to be feeling pretty good about that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, realistically, that's about where I expected to be. Conti's just a madman behind the wheel. So I mean, the fact that I was even able to stay alive for the end of stage 2, I was pretty happy with. But absolutely, I mean, overall, it was a great run, great race. Had some good battles with Jeremy Sumter. Stage 1, stage 2, had to fight off Conti, and then stage 3, it was just trying to manage tire and make it on the long game.
Yeah, not a bad points night at all, man. Like you said, you came in the top 10 in stage 1. Stage 2, you won, and here you are tonight, putting it in, square in the middle on the podium. So pretty good effort, right?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm happy with that. I've always enjoyed racing Richmond. And honestly, shout out to the guys in the league tonight. I mean, just to have a few cautions in here was great. It was good to have some long runs.
Yeah, so how was getting set up for this week? You guys, obviously it seems like you had a rocket setup.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody that's been in A Opens and NIS, it's no secret that we've been fast and have brought speed all week. And Conti put in a ton of work to the set this week. Also, Matt DiCiani put in a lot of work, playing with some things, and we got some options for our drivers and the customers that have worked well. We've had really good success this week. Our own Randy Belk went out and won a race in A Open last night. So shout out to him on that. So it's been a lot of fun to see the success that we've had this week.
Awesome. So can we expect to see the same thing for next week since it's a short track in kind of the same state?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think Richmond is a lot more racy than Martinsville. Martinsville, it's kind of sardined in there. You gotta hope you get a particular line. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think track position's important here, but I think it's gonna be a lot more important next week at Martinsville.
All right, man. Well, once again, congratulations for your second place finish. Who you shouting out tonight?
Yeah, man. First off to Conti for the win. He wheeled it tonight. Heck of a job to him. And then Derek coming in third place. Glad to see us grab a podium finish there. Shout out to Team Conti Sim Performance, all the guys there for putting the work on the sets this week. Conti and Matt both did a great job pitching in to help with that. Shout out to Martin PC, C12 Design Shop, and then certainly you guys in the booth and Kenny for helping with the league.
All right, boss. As I always say, don't party too hard, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, that was Patrick Gitter, driver of the 21 machine, finishes second place. Now we go on to the winner, Michael Conti, substituting for Randy Mullins. Is Randy paying you, Michael?
Randy's a great guy, and Randy's been a loyal customer of Team Conti Sim Performance and back to our EPI days, Randy's been definitely a huge supporter of us. So when he asked me to fill in tonight, I had a track that I absolutely love to drive. I couldn't turn down the opportunity, so was just really happy to get out here. This was a long race. I'm not used to it. The eNASCAR Series races have gotten shorter and shorter over the years, so this was definitely a bit out of my comfort zone, and I'm feeling it after it. So, but it was a lot of fun. I appreciate Randy asking me to do this. Appreciate Kenny letting me do this, and just really awesome job by everybody out there tonight. Super good racing, really clean at the end. So it was definitely enjoyable to be a part of.
Yeah, and I think that was very surprising to us, even up in the booth. Of course, ISCA known for being very, very clean, but to have a 100% long green run there in stage 3, were you prepared for green flag pit stops at Richmond?
So I had Brandon Hastings, who used to crew chief me back in my Coke days. He was nice enough to come and help out tonight. And we had talked about stage 3 going green, but I don't think either of us actually thought it was going to happen. So when it did happen and we got to the point where we had to pit under green, that was definitely um, a bit uneasy for a second because I haven't done a green flag pit entry at Richmond in God knows how long. So luckily that worked out okay, and the strategy was good, and everybody kept it clean. But I mean, to put it into perspective, that last stage was longer than the Coke race that I ran here last year by 30 or 40 laps. So it just goes to show how, whereas the top level esports stuff has gotten shorter and shorter and there's more and more urgency and intensity to go, go, go. Luckily in this league and in many others, there's a bit more time to plan out your race and come up with different strategies and just not always have to be, on go 110%. So nice change of pace. Like I said, really fun. Happy to get this OB Builders door and trim number 54 car up front. I promised Randy that I would do a good job for him. The goal was to win, and ultimately we did that. So, like Pat said and Derek, super good TCSP car this week. Appreciate everybody's collaboration on that. On the ambassador side, a lot of work went into it, and was glad to show off what it was capable of tonight.
100%. Of course, great job. Hopefully, we'll get to see you another time, maybe. I mean, ISCA definitely has some great racing for sure. But who can we give a shout out after this big win, your first win in the ISCA and only race in this series?
Yeah, batting 1,000. So I think I have to just retire from this deal too, and not ruin the record. But like I said, OB Builders door and trim. I always see them on Randy's car. I guess they do doors and trim. So if you need doors and trim, OB Builders, reach out to those guys. But yeah, I mean, Martin PC, huge supporter of Team Conti Sim Performance, huge supporter of me over the last couple of years. Appreciate them. And like I said, everybody at TCSP that's worked to make these cars super quick this week. Thank you guys for that collaboration, that hard work. Really, really enjoying what we're doing at TCSP. Love the community we're building. And encourage anybody out there who's looking for a place to race to come check us out.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Michael, and congratulations on the victory.
Thanks, Brian.
All righty. That was Michael Conti driving for Randy Mullins, and he comes out here and apparently he gets the victory. So hopefully that check clears. Great job to him, though, Big Al. What a race this was at Richmond Raceway. I think they had everything, absolutely everything. We saw bumpers flying all over the racetrack, and we saw green flag pit stops at Richmond. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, Brian, it was definitely an event, and that's the only way we can say that, man. Kudos to the drivers for putting on a great show, giving us something to talk about. Thanks for my main man behind the scenes down there making us look good, Kobe Jordan. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak when you're not speaking, and man, just thank everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks, Kenny, for the league.
I was getting ready to say exactly that same thing. Thanks to Kenny Powell for putting on this league, and it has definitely been growing, and we love to see it for sure. And I want to echo exactly what you said there. Kobe Jordan doing a fantastic job with the cameras. I mean, man, I'll tell you, I was a fan watching this race here through his camera angles for sure, and definitely a shout-out to everybody out there that tuned in. Make sure you tune in next week, Martinsville. We're going to be racing there at the paperclip, and that's going to be exciting. Any kind of, I think, rivalries that might have started here might end there at Martinsville at that half mile. Of course, the broadcast will start about 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The race itself green flag a little after 9:30, so make sure you're there. You don't want to miss it. We've been having just thrilling race after thrilling race here this season. But my name is Brian Britt. We'll see you next time. This has been the ISCA Super Cup Series. Have a great night.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
I found the ISCA after I'd been in the service for a long time. I'd been in iRacing for well over a decade and spent most of my time in NASCAR series, a lot of fixed racing for the most part, and really just got to a point in my iRacing career where I really wanted to get involved in open setup racing versus fixed, partially because I was just looking for a little higher level of competition, you know, maybe a little cleaner driving and maybe get away from some of the challenges that go along with fixed racing on the service. And it took me a while as I was really searching out leagues because I kind of had a very specific thing I was looking for. A, I wanted to be an established league. You know, B, I just really wanted clean, quality drivers to be racing around. And once I found the ISCA, I found out really quick that it was going to check all those boxes, and I've been with the ISCA ever since.